So those laterals, if I can use the football metaphor, dropping the football, just don't happen. And so if you're going to do a vertical integration where you're doing a handoff to somebody, you have to make sure it's tied and dialed in. The other thing that we started to do as we grew the company with more designers is we would have design meetings with checklists to make sure that all the drawings were the same, the north arrow was in the right place, we had the scale, the dimensions, all the critical data were on the drawings without exception, and the drawings look very similar because you are creating a brand in terms of your style of your drawings. You may not realize it, but it's true. So you can't have different designers doing different things. It doesn't represent your brand well. And that's another way you drop the ball, that sort of branding ball. So there's no consistency, no uniformity. It's very hard to scale a business if everything looks different. The classic ball drop is the client says, well, we talked about this and it wasn't on the drawing, which is pretty embarrassing. So how could you possibly have missed that item? Well, if you're not great at taking notes and you're not great at double checking to make sure that your notes are transferred to the drawing, you're going to end up with something different than what you talked about. The other challenge too is in terms of dropping the ball is the designer wants to be creative. So if they're being told what to do, it's not satisfying for them. And of course, they're going to go off on tangents. So it's really super important to make sure that you job shadow your designer until they become autonomous, where they understand the nuances of what you're thinking, the way you work. Then you've got a great information transfer. Until that point, you actually need physical checklists. As a matter of fact, you still need checklists because you end up looking bad in front of the customer. And so writing it down is one thing, but some people don't actually read the notes all that much. So you can tell them, you have to show them. You literally should sit beside them for an hour when they're doing the design to guide them on that first iteration. And so we've had it where clients call us out on our lack of process, and it's embarrassing, it's frustrating, and then you have to do the design over again or change the design. So that's a waste of time and certainly doesn't help the company morale. So these things are huge, and it happened a lot. I have to say it happened a lot, especially if you have people that aren't detail-oriented, handing things over to people that aren't detail-oriented, that are more creatives. This is where you get in trouble.